prison. I think that's kind of it's not the main reason why we've lost, but just that bit of stability. Yeah,
Hmm.
because he adds identity as well. He carries that. He carried the
Mm.
team when he was there. So,
I I have a question. Like, we know that, I mean, Webby's mentioned it a couple of times that we don't have that that we don't have the leadership, the leadership thing going on at the club anymore, as in previous years. And I'm wondering, do you think that maybe this season, I mean, especially with all of our injuries, so we've had a lot of the New South Wales Cup boys having to step up and play. Do you think not having that leadership role has somewhat affected the team? Could that be a small reason as to why we're looking so bad this season?
Well, I'm gonna get us to answer that, but I've gone live,
yeah,
so both of
Oh,
you are aware. But yeah,
too, bro.
I quickly say kia ora to everyone, kia ora whānau. Welcome to our Monday night Kōrero. Obviously, usually it's Nick introducing us tonight, so Nick looks a little bit different. It's me introducing us because, as you guys know, Nick is over in another country in the Netherlands, and over there it's actually the morning, so he's taking his kids to school at this time, and we thought we'll jump on, present, and he'll hopefully join us later on today, as well as Damien. So we'll get back to your question, Tans. What were you asking? And then me and Jill can kind of jump off that.
Mm.
apologies. I thought yeah. Anyway, I was just asking, do you think, as a club, not having the leadership program anymore, or, because a lot of other clubs have that, we don't, we kind of got rid of that. Does anyone think that maybe that's one of the reasons why we've dipped so badly this season? We have had a lot of cup boys come through and play a lot of games this season due to our injury toll. So, yeah, I was thinking about it on the weekend. Does anyone think maybe that could be a reason, or just a small part of the reason why we're not doing so well? Because there's no one there, obviously no one, well, to mentor these young players, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
I was just going to ask, can you elaborate on what do you mean by them scrapping the leadership program? Sorry, I might be a little bit.
Not scrapping the leadership program, but Webby has said a couple of times in interviews that they don't have that, whereas a lot of clubs have that. Is it a program they have, or just this leadership thing that they had going on at the club that he done away with, because he thinks everyone should kind of be on the same level, if that makes sense.
Mm.
Has
So like a
anyone?
leadership group, you're talking about?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
but
bro.
he done away with that.
Mm.
He didn't think, it was good for the club. And I'm just wondering, do you think there's anything behind that? I'm trying to find reasons, solid reasons as to
Mm.
why we've dipped so badly this season.
Yeah, good question. I guess I can speak from, witnessing other kind of teams and leadership groups, because obviously the whole point of it is that, no, I think strongly, I don't know if they were the ones that started it, but I know Melbourne's have always been kind of big on it, by having a group of senior players. Not only can they obviously talk on the field and all of that, but they can actually lead a lot of the processes, especially like trainings and all of that. Obviously, Craig Bellamy's going to tell them what to do, but the whole point of a leadership group is to then give ownership to more of the team around what to do. So, hey, potentially, there's probably is one of many things. But I think my whole question about it has always been like, we've got a lot of leaders in our team, and people always question me on that. But if you look at
Yep.
Roger, you look at Capewell, you look at Fonua-Blake, you look at
Mm.
Egan, you look at Tohu, Sean Johnson. My thing is like, man, what really went wrong? Whether it's having to your point, a structure around it, but like, what really went wrong? Where we're so volatile as a team, when you've got so many strong heads on this team that could, just when we're playing like shit, just say, hey boys, like just calm us down. Like I just like where was that this whole year? Just felt like we were at moments, showed a bit of resilience, in between games, but for a whole 80 minutes, it felt like we were just constantly shaky. And it's like, I don't know, maybe I kind of, and I've said this before, maybe I've kind of thought that, that was all sorted, but obviously the results and the performances we're seeing, yeah, maybe I was wrong about that.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know, bro. I don't know. I think you're pretty bang on actually. The yeah, the like on review, and a lot of the games have had that have had the same stamp on them in regards to, you know, yeah, we can get out of our red zone, yeah, we can roll up the middle. But when the mistakes creep in or the guys are fumbling, like Shawnee didn't have a great game. Shawnee, some of his passing was just off, and then he started fumbling the ball. Um, and it was just like, yeah, we were, those things that really counted for us last year. And that's our only reference that we can really go by. This year's just been it's been a real struggle with the whole. It's almost like, yeah, okay, opposition teams have sussed us out and they've shut us down, but there's no plan B. It's kind of like they just shut down every single thing we do because they know exactly what we're going to be doing, kind of thing. And it's just like, yeah. So I don't know if that feeds into a lack of resilience or even just imagination, or creativity or whatever. Because Uncle was really big. Webby was big on the whole, the processes, sticking to them. He's proven it all season. He's been pretty loyal to particular players that have carried through on what his game plan for the day, is kind of thing. So yeah, but to our detriment, and it's really shown through in the last 2 months, and it's kind of, in all honesty, I'm kind of looking forward to like the Doggies game and the Sharks game just for it to come to an end. Because it's just like, and I hope we do get a couple of wins, but the current way we're performing, I just can't see it happening.
Yeah,
but that's just me.
He seems quite stubborn. Well, not stubborn, I suppose, but yeah, stuck in his ways. And I don't know if it's because he wants to see his plan work, like he's just so fixated on that, but he's going to have to change his perspective and be more open-minded as to how to around game strategies before next season. Otherwise, he can't go in with the same mindset as what he has this season.
Yeah.
And when it comes to, I mean, I didn't think there was so much to be concerned about, but after watching this game and then watching the other games as well, I was like, man, there is so much to be worried about. That's what I think anyway. I think there is. I think as well as players, like there's players that probably need to, and not just one. In regards to our backline, we've got no speed out there at all, and compared to some teams, we're not going to chase down anybody, in my opinion. So a lot of questions need to be asked around those positions next year, but then the other part of me was thinking, now guys, help me out with this one, Ty, with your people in the chat. Last year we had that same backline, right? CNK, but Rocco Berry was in there. Oh shit, minus RTS. But we caught these players, right? Like we were able to keep up with them. And we did, because our defense was, third best in the competition or whatever it was. So what the hell has changed from, I'm really frustrated now, and angry, because I'm like, what the fuck was it our strength we counted on last season more so because we didn't have the speed, so we made up for it in other areas? I just don't know. There's so much to work on, heaps.
Yeah, totally. I know this has been brought up, and I'm not again using it as an excuse, but if we go to even our first game, we didn't have CNK start. You know, a lot of this has been kind of dealing with injuries. And again, like I've always said that, you know, we need 30 players to kind of win a premiership. So, you know, we're fortunate to have Tuopiki that slotted in there very well. But I think a lot of it has come down to me saying, and this is not an excuse, this is me pointing to what I think it is that we weren't prepared for the plan Bs and plan Cs. I think potentially we were just ready for plan A. And I think a lot of this season has been now we don't have some of our players in their positions. Some of our players are not stepping up. It kind of felt like we had potentially built our whole strategy around a few things, and then it's now playing catch up because and when I say we, maybe the strategist, the coaching kind of didn't prepare for all this other stuff coming on. So that's kind of how I see it. We kind of we kind of had, you know, and we weren't the only ones. There was a few teams this year. You know, I take Broncos as another one. But some of us had the short end of the stick, but some of us dealt with it better. You know, Penrith didn't have Cleary for a whole half of the season, and they still figured it out. You know, so I feel.
Sorry, go Ty.
Yeah, it's just for me, it just feels like potentially we were just maybe not the words one-dimensional, but we were kind of thought it was just going to roll on from next year. Kind of felt where we maybe didn't have this succession plan. If things didn't go on, you know, it didn't happen. Could we play without a Sean Johnson? Could we play without a CNK? I just didn't see it all year, and it felt like when we did though, when we had these boys come and slotted, it felt like it worked, and it felt like because they brought a bit of energy, they wanted to be in that spot. But I don't know if the coaching was ready to kind of prepare for all of that personally. So yeah, that's just how I kind of reflect on it all.
Yeah.
Well, other teams like Panthers must prepare differently. I mean, like you said, Cleary was out for most of the season, and far out, man, he just came back and dominated in that game. I mean, yeah, I wonder what our processes are in our preparation around games is like, because it just doesn't seem. It's like I said, it seems like we're getting worse every week. I mean, that game on the weekend, honestly, the first 20 minutes or whatever it was, I thought we were in there. I was like, wow. When we evened up the score, I was just like, oh my God, like this is the best we've played for ages. And I think I threw that in our group chat, and then
the rain hit.
yeah, exactly. Time it started raining, and that was the end of that. I was just really pissed off. I mean, I look at, you know, when SJ put that post up when he was getting all that flack, and he was like, you know, I'm a person, I won't let 80 minutes define me as a person, and fair enough. But I mean, I think he fails to realise that 80 minutes for fans, that 80 minutes a week for fans, you know, like I know personally that I look forward to that every week, that 80 minutes. I mean, of all footy, you know, but when they come out and constantly dish up shit like that, I'm just like, man, you know, you talk about your 80 minutes not defining you, but like I said, you know, for a lot of fans that have had a hard week at work, they're going through stuff, that 80 minutes means heaps, you know, on the flip side. So I hope you heard that, SJ, because, yeah. 80 minutes for some people means different things, and I think they need to acknowledge that more. Because I don't think if they start like that next year, I mean, they're lucky they go on, oh, we sold out every game this season. Well, big fucking deal. What about next season, mate, and the season after that?
No,
I think that's definitely the marketing side of it, and that's the PR side of the Warriors is pretty good. It's top notch. You know, they got the finger on the pulse. They know what works. You know, they put those Instagram, TikTok scrolls together, whatever, and people love it. You know, they're tapped into it. They've got the players involved, and so it's but you know, that's the marketing side of running a club. You know, and always, I guess when you look at it from that side of the administration side of it, it's always going to be about dollars and cents. It's always going to be about
Oh, yeah, I'm not
how we
talking
can
about,
keep,
I'm not talking about that though. I'm
keep
just
rolling
saying,
through financially. Yeah.
I'm not talking about that, like the whole marketing's like I don't care about that either. I'm just like, you know, if us fans are so invested in that 80 minutes, which we are, I know some more than others, then they should be as well. Because for some, I looked at Sean after that Manly game and he's coming off the field and he's all laughing and smiling. And I took that as a real kick in the guts. I was like, bro, like you just played the shittiest fucking game. You get paid tens of thousands of dollars for one game. And, you know, like I'm sitting here fucking angry as like, and then this guy's just like, oh, you know, smiling, laughing. I'm like, mate, the cheek of you, the audacity to come off and be like that when you've just, you know, like you should be like, oh, bro, like, you know, like TMM did when he played that horrible game and he owned it. Not this guy, too much ego. And I think sometimes that's a part, you know, AFB's guilty of it sometimes when he slacks off in games because his ego's too fucking big for him. But yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I think, just cutting into conversation. Sean Johnson, you've got to also remember, like, he's only got a couple of games left. He's going to come off that field fucking having, like, with his big smile on his face. He's making the most of the last minutes he has left. I've seen photos of him, like, having big chats with DCE. And, like, he'll never play with DCE again. He'll never play against DCE again. So he's making the most of catching up with these guys after the game. I don't think it's a reflection of, fuck, I don't care if we won or lost. I think it's more just enjoying the moments that he has left in the game.
Yeah.
Well, honestly, if I was a player, I wouldn't be fucking enjoying those moments because they were terrible. And,
yeah, but at the end of the day, he hasn't got many left, so he's going to enjoy them whether it was a win-loss or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
You can't take it too personally, eh?
Yeah.
Oh, not personally, but I'm angry. I'm like, fuck you guys, like, nah. I'm not going to sugarcoat shit anymore for them. I'm not going to glorify them playing 20 minutes, a good 20 minutes. And I'm not going to celebrate that because it's like, why? A footy game goes for 80 minutes, not 20 minutes. And you shouldn't be, you know, celebrated for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's just been happening too many times this season where they've, yeah.
I'd agree. I feel like obviously in terms of, and that's what we're here to do tonight, I guess, is talk about the performance in itself, and we'll probably roll into the game soon in some specific moments. But you know, one thing I would say is that, yeah, I agree with Damien. I think he's enjoying those moments, but I also think if any of you guys listen to his podcast, he constantly talks about how shit it feels when coming off the game and knowing what he's done out there. So I think, you know, there is a side of it, and you know, sometimes maybe the camera capturing it in those 2 seconds when he is smiling, but we might miss the other 10 minutes where he's actually pissed off. So that's kind of how I think about it. But he does talk at large around, like, he knows he isn't playing well, and sometimes he even thinks, why is he even on? So I know he's feeling it. He's feeling it. Just maybe we ain't seen it. But that's it. I was going to say, let's actually roll into the game. I think some of us, myself, admitted that I haven't reviewed or watched the game again. I want to be honest; it's very hard to go. Even when I see a highlight, like I see the highlight, I see a try on, like, scrolling through Instagram. I'm watching it, but I'm like, I already know the end of the story. I don't want to watch the highlight and know what happens after this.
It's not a good ending.
No, it's not a good ending at all. But we're already talking about the game, and we've obviously talked about some of the stuff that we've seen in the game. Yeah, maybe going around. What did we feel? Any positives? Anything we want to talk about in terms of the game?
One positive
to Sean was pretty good.
Second half performance. My positive that I took out of the game was seeing Luke Metcalf back. I think we really missed Luke Metcalf this season.
Yeah, agree.
I think it's going to take. Yeah, we missed his speed, and I think it's going to take time for A, for him to get his timing back, but also B, to get those combinations going. But it's just good to see him out there. You know, he's such a good player. I think we really did miss him this season.
Yeah.
I think we also missed him the back end of last season as well. I wonder if he doesn't go down injured, how do we perform the end of last season as well?
Oh God.
I doubt.
Because he opened up that left side quite well, for his first game back in first grade.
First game back.
Because I did ask in the group, I was like, why isn't he, when I got frustrated, I was like, why aren't they giving him more ball, because he's the fastest one on the field. But when I actually watched it and he was just really, trying to get that ball over to his edges, I was like, man, this, he's obviously done heaps of work. Because he looked like a different player. He looked like a more matured player, actually.
Yeah, he's stepping more into that playmaking role as well, eh? He's not just a supporting player anymore.
Which is good. Good for him,
Which is
too.
good. Definitely.
Just build his confidence.
Well, they had a couple of nice little set plays there on the scrum. When Luca was feeding it, and then he doubled back round, and it's just like, okay, that's nice, bro. But good to see him back, bro. Yeah,
definitely.
Real good to see him back. Highlights. Not necessarily full of highlights. Right. Oh, actually, pre-game. So the boys are in the sheds in the huddle, and Aiden was standing outside the group while Barney was addressing them, and I just thought, actually, and from the camera angle, you can clearly see he's not a part. He's just standing there, he's listening. But it's just like, okay, that's interesting, bro. Like, just the boys are all linked up and stuff, and he puts
one of them's not
the team chair, and mind you, flip side, he goes out and has a blinder, plays a really good game against his old club. But yeah, just watching that right at the start, I was just like, oh, okay, the bro's not feeling it.
And that's got to have an effect on other players too, If you got one guy that's not really wanting to be a part of it, that has a flow-on effect, eh?
Oh, yeah, bro. Yeah. But just kind of, I was thinking about just different times throughout the season when Aiden's, like, generally, for the most part, he's been pretty solid and makes those yards and, shimmies his way through the line, all the rest of it. But part of me is wondering if it's, now that there's only 2 more games to go, he's kind of, not that I'm saying he's buttoned off, because I don't think he has, but it just seemed like a bit of a statement, him kind of standing up on the group, and Barney's addressing the boys, revving them up. And Aiden's kind of a part of it, but not, if you know what I mean. He's just on the outside. So I thought that was interesting.
Maybe that's his way of dealing with having to leave his brothers. So who knows? I mean,
to be fair,
it's been a hard season for all of them.
It's been a hard season for him, but I think I don't want to get too much into this, but I don't think his missus is helping things too much, eh? Obviously, that's going to be a big part of your life and everything, but she's very clearly unhappy with being in New Zealand. And it was interesting because I saw on social media she put up a post during the Dolphins game, a Dolphins player scoring a try, and she's taken a snapshot of the television as the Dolphins are scoring and written a caption along the lines of, looks like we can go away for our holiday in September. Like, bro, that's got to play with your fucking head if that's coming from your other half, eh,
Wow.
Pretty wretched.
I mean, even the likes of Dylan Walker, will he be back? I mean, you see all these rumors, like with the media, as they do, they start up all these rumors. So then as fans, they're like, well, fuck, hold on a minute, what's going on? We haven't seen Tohu's face we know he's injured, but we haven't seen, I don't know, has he even been at the games? Like, I don't know if I've even seen, him in the coach's box. So
I saw him when he was at the home game, but I don't know about the away games.
Oh, but anyway, I'm going off track in regards to the positives from the match. Like I said, I thought we were in the game. Like I actually had to sit up and straighten. I was like, oh man, we're in the fight here. Looks like we're, this could be a good game. And then, like you said, Ty, it started raining and fucking just washed all my dreams away.
All of ours
pouring down.
in terms of positive, I'm just looking at the stats, and this has been a recurring theme for us. We always seem to do all right in the stats. Now, possession-wise, they had it a bit over us, 53-47. But when you look at our run meters, we had higher. We ran 100 more meters. We had more post-contact meters, just a little bit. Not more line breaks, but we had more tackle breaks. Like, we always do well on the stats. That's why it's weird, you know. Like, it's been a constant thing. We do quite right in stats, but then when it comes to the game, we seem to lose it. The thing is, when you look at the stats, though, the negative plays, we made more errors. We conceded a bit more penalties. So there are some things to our games that we did see in the weekend. And I touch on, you know, Nick said this the other week around maybe now that Nick said that my Raiders, I guess, more bias, but I felt like, you know, when we started getting our roll on, we would make a mistake, and I was like,
Yeah.
this is pissing me off.
Just crucial timing on those errors, though.
Especially on their line too, like we're 5 meters out, you know, like we're right there about to score and drop ball.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God, and that happened. Just, oh my God. I was just like, oh hell no.
Or even when Manly would make the same mistake, but we just weren't capitalising. You know, we'd have them trapped. Luke Brooks drops a kickoff, you know, in the second half, and it's late into the second half, but it's like 10 minutes to go, a good opportunity for us to build on it, and nothing eventuated, you know, and it's just like, wow.
Yeah.
God, Webby's got a lot. They've all got a lot to work on. Huge amount to work on. And we shouldn't even be worried about next season. But I'm just like, man, who's going to go where? Like, who's going to play? What are we going to see? A new team lineup. I know there'll be a couple of different. Obviously, there's going to be a couple of different positions, players and positions, but. I mean, the game's just getting faster every year. You know, it's changing, it's adapting, it's getting faster. And we need to, you know, find players that can adapt and change and step up to those changes that are going on in footy.
I'd like to know if our New South Wales Cup team have got some real speedsters in it. You know, because
apparently
if Uncle's true to form, he won't be changing. Like the players he's got, he'll be keeping in those positions. You know, he won't drift far from what he's had from last season to this season. If anything, and you know, that lack of speed. My gut feeling is Webby's always known about that, but he's compensated for it in other ways.
Yeah,
it just hasn't paid off this season. You know?
No, that's what I was saying to you. Like last year, we were able to compensate for that, even though our outside backs or our back line wasn't fast. Was it our strength, or was it? You know, how did we manage that speed of other teams last year? That in comparison to this year, maybe it's the injuries and the constant changing of the positions because of our injury toll. So. Yeah.
I'm going to answer that. I'm going to be honest. I don't think we did last year either. I think we were quite fortunate in some of our regular games. But if you look to the finals, especially when we played Penrith and then Broncos, we got blitzed. Like that was one of those things where we're like, we actually need speed next year. And then I think this year, it wasn't just the Panthers and Broncos blitzing us. It was every team that had speed. So I think we just got more exposed this year. So, you know, I know we've got Pasikala down there in New South Wales Cup, but, you know, he's quite young. There are a few boys down there that with a bit of speed. You know, even Tuopiki. So there are some boys there. It's just, I guess, the question is, A, who's still here next year? Because there's obviously a few rumors swirling. And then B, what does that look like in terms of, some of those boys coming up and playing those positions? I just want to backtrack to what we were talking about at the start of this Kōrero, which was around kind of Webby and his game plan. And I think for me, you know, this is going to be playing a little bit of devil's advocate because, you know, we've seen him kind of, I guess, stay true to some of the lineups this year. And I guess, you know, I shared that article into our group for anyone that saw it. He spoke on One News around he's not going to really put anyone up just for the sake of it. He wants to keep it strong. I think for him, there is a lot of thinking around what is long-term best. that's in his thought pattern, which is great. I think, you don't want to sell yourself out short term just to then, and I think I said this last week, just to, get a win, and then all of a sudden you're like chasing that kind of win and don't have any bases. The only problem I see though with that is that sometimes within an 80-minute game, you've only got 80 minutes. You have to kind of change a little bit of tactic if it means to win that game sometimes. And I feel like maybe that's some of the learning he's going to get this year, of still stay long-term thinking and how do we build foundation to prepare not just for a championship but maybe a dynasty. But I feel his 80-minute kind of coaching, there's still a lot of room, I guess, in terms of improvement, because it feels like it's just, sometimes they don't even bring on this, we don't even use our 8 subs. And I'm like, man, like what does that there's no point trying to get our boys playing a little longer when we're not even going to play finals footy. I'd rather see someone come on or have someone switch in that actually adds to the game that's in front of us, as one area that I think needs to improve. But yeah, sounds like Webby's a long-term thinker, built for the long term, but I feel like sometimes when you got to win a game, you have to kind of insert some short-term thinking just to get the result, which I don't think we've seen a lot this year.
Do you think we I mean, I think that's what I like about Te Maire Martin, is that he's creative when he's on the field, because he seems, well, from where I'm sitting, it doesn't look like he plays, that strict game plan, or that, like he's off the cuff, and he does shit that, he's an eyes, he's an eyes up player. Yeah. So yeah, do you think we lack a bit of creativity when he hasn't been there?
I don't know. There's been times when he has been there and still there's a massive lack of creativity. There's games where he's just an absent fucking passenger, to be completely honest with you. He's not the be all and end all. There are some games that he's played really well this season, but I think there's probably been even more where he's done absolutely fuck all.
Who, Te Maire?
Te Maire.
I think he's done a lot more than half of the players on there.
Yeah, that's probably true as well. But that's saying how well the rest of the team's performing too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I think we're only good in glimpses though. It's not like it was, like we're only good in glimpses, like in small infractions. We're not good on this on a whole. It's like
Definitely. I guess what I'm trying to say is Te Maire Martin, eyes up player, that's cool. But there are moments where he just has no idea what to do.
I don't think any of them do, bro. That's the problem.
Yep.
I don't think any of them.
If you're playing in the halves, then you should always have some kind of idea of what you're doing, even if there is nothing right in front of you. Eyes up. There's glaringly obvious, I need to do this. You should have some kind of something in the back of your head. Okay, there's nothing really happening. This is what I need to do. There are times where he does nothing.
Yep.
I think all the halves this year have looked fucking totally out of place in every game. But when you're playing teams like Manly and you've got a half and they're like Daly Cherry Evans, as much as I can't stand him, he's got to be one of the best halves in the competition when it comes to footy IQ. And you've seen that in a lot of plays on the edge too. He's just onto it. And he showed it, and pissed me off because I can't stand him. But he just read us so well, man. Read us so well. And yeah.
100%.
Like a lot in the cover tackles and the cover in the defence where players got caught on the ground and he played to that side of the field. And I think he done that a couple of times, and it led in, and it got them line breaks, got Saab up the field and someone else. But yeah, he's really clever.
Kia ora, Nick. Koutou.
Kia ora, Nick.
Koutou.
Sure.
Feeling good.
Nice. The kids get to school, right, bro? Thankfully. You got your volume on?
Stream might be still traveling to Holland there, but I was just gonna say that this might be a shit thing to say. Well, we're on a Warriors fan TV thing, but you know, I am watching the other team and how they're performing a lot of times when they're versing us. And you know, Dale Cherry Evans, I think, you know, if you know a little bit about his game, he's quite smart in terms of attacking that short side, and they did a lot of short side raids on us in the weekend.
bro.
And I think part of it though is that it's his chemistry, you know, with the hooker and Tom, they all knew that once he runs down there, they're all kind of running off him. And I think one of the things that I've kind of missed from us this whole year, we showed him bits, it's just kind of running in bunches. It feels like we don't have that kind of thing to us, and it's not that, you know, it's a rocket science to kind of build that. It just kind of feels like sometimes we just don't have ourselves in the right positions. We kind of sometimes don't know, you know, if Timai's going to hit their way. We've got people kind of flocking behind him. Yeah, it just kind of seems a little bit uncoordinated sometimes. And to your point, Damien, I feel like, yes, I agree a few times. I think Timai Martin's been a standout this year, but sometimes it's like, I wouldn't say he goes missing, but sometimes it's like we're waiting for it, or you know, I don't know. It doesn't seem like when we watch other halves and how they control the game, it seems like we're kind of hoping Timai steps up or hoping someone steps up for us to kind of get over the line.
I agree with Damien. I do think it's up to the halves and the teams to control the game, and you know, but it just seems like, and we haven't been able to do that this season. No, like I think one or two people have tried, but it hasn't. I think other players, but yeah, not everyone's linking and clicking together.
I've heard. Sorry. I've heard a lot of players and a lot of teams say that it's really hard for your halves to control a game when your forwards aren't going forward. So our forward pack has been one of the most dominant packs this season, yet our halves have not been able to control many games at all. That's fucking concerning. If you can't control when your pack is dominating like that, then when the fuck are you going to? There have been games, and I feel like I'm picking on Timai Martin, and I don't mean to be, but there have been games where I've seen him play and I'm questioning, is he injured? Because he's literally doing fucking nothing. Chanel Harris-Tavita's been having to do most of the kicking in some games, and you're thinking, dude, Timai Martin, like when some of those games where he was playing 7, like he looked like he was fucking just controlling the shit out of that game. You look at like the Penrith Magic Round game, he looked phenomenal. So it's just not consistent, and that's really concerning when your pack is just dominating like they have been dominating.
But no one's been consistent in the team. No one, not one player has been consistent.
Yeah.
So another point then, if
not a back. I think maybe even when you think about it, I was going to say no one. Probably Tuopa.
Well, Barnett's probably been the most consistent in terms of the whole team.
Yeah.
If you've got close to an entire team that is inconsistent, then where does the coaching start to come into play? Like, if no one's really standing up, doesn't it become more of a coaching issue than a player issue?
100%, I think so, Damien. 100%, I think it's the coach. And ages ago, I said, you know, the coach here has to take some accountability for how poor the team's performing. Yeah. I 100% agree with you on that. I do think,
I don't feel like it's fair to put the blame squarely on Webby. On Webby, I feel like, what kind of support is this guy getting? What are his assistants doing? And who the fuck's going to be assisting him next year? If it's the same guys, then fuck, it's not just Webby that's going to have to learn a lot in the off season, because I'm wondering where the fuck the assistants are. Where is the assistant coming from? Because he doesn't seem to be getting a lot of assistance at all. This guy is like second year head coach NRL. Where is the support?
But these are the same guys, except for Justin Morgan. These are the same group of coaches that that's what I mean. There's a breakdown in something, because a lot of it's the same shit. Same, you know, like there's same players, same coaching staff, except for the defensive coach who left. So where did the problems lie then? Because a lot of it's people haven't changed, you know, coaches haven't changed, players haven't changed. We did due to injuries, but apart from that, nothing on the outside really changed. It's something that, I don't know. But yeah.
I hope there's going to be a big review at the end of the season to see the fucking, get some questions answered. There's a lot of questions out there at the moment that, as us as fans, we don't have a fucking clue what's going on.
Yeah.
Do you think we deserve to know a little bit of what's going on, though?
No,
Well,
absolutely not.
Yeah.
If every single fan put us 5 cents worth in that club, it wouldn't exist.
Yeah.
You
So
might as
long
well
as-
not have a head coach or key signings or all the rest of it. If you took on board every single thing that every fan had to say about the club, the players, the coaches, the systems, it wouldn't last. You've got to be able to block the shit out. You've got to be able to take on board what's going to work for them. But you need to have your own systems in place. So be aware of the fans, and Webby does do a good job of acknowledging fans. But he's got a bigger job to do, and his job is to win a premiership and get a winning formula together. The wheels are falling off this year, but I wouldn't be taking on board every single time a Warriors fan gets pissed off. It's like we get pissed off. Okay,
I'm not saying that at all, but I think he's accountable 100%. I think he's accountable for how bad. Not just I think him, the players, everyone, all the coaches, all the players. They're all accountable for how bad this season's gone.
Yeah, of course.
My point is,
it's so frustrating that we know, because we saw it last season how fucking good they can be, and they've not done that.
A lot's happened between now and then, though, And I don't think it's fair to make the comparisons between how good last year really was, and we all know how good it was, and how far the wheels have fallen off this year. And expectations or whatever, but I think it's fair to say that we as Warriors fans are pretty used to shitty years, year after year after year. So it's not that big a deal. No, I'm not conceding defeat because, regardless, I'm still going to follow them. And Webby's got a job to do rolling into next year. So, the systems, the processes, I don't know. My gut feeling is that there's definitely dynamics going on within the playing squad. Whether that be players that are moving on, or players that aren't happy, or guys that are and this is completely based on nothing, and I've got no facts behind this, but guys are getting preferential treatment, whatever, because like as an added fan that watches the game, you can't, and especially now that since we do reviews and stuff, when you watch the game and review, it's kind of like you pick up on just little, just little indiscretions. They're like they happen in a split second, but you notice shit interactions between certain players and stuff, and it's just like, oh, okay. It doesn't buy into the team unity side of things. That's
or the team culture side of things, identity side of things.
Identity, that not everyone's bought into it, and people are frustrated, and shit's not working, and it's kind of like, okay, how do you work it out? But there is clearly there is clearly disharmony within the playing group, and with 2 games to go, it's kind of like, how do you settle that so that the boys finish in a stronger position, or just finish happy. I want to see them get out there and have fun, and fucking enjoy themselves.
That's what I said a couple of games ago. I was like, man, just if structure that's not working, just go out there and have fun. Just go out there like it's another training session and just fucking have fun. The wins don't matter anymore, or the losses. But I think it was Damien who said quite a while back about, was it you, Damien, that said ever since Addin, when he said that the group hadn't kind of clicked the same? Was it you?
I'm not too sure, sorry.
Yeah. Hello.
I just wanted to come back to talking about, Webby and that taking on opinions or accountability and all that. I kind of think I always think about I don't know if it's actually got a title, but there's the whole thing around the alien invasion theory, and if aliens were to invade, will the government tell everyone it's going to happen? I think it's similar to us as fans giving input. If they just took on everything and we'll create pandemonium. If there was such a fluid line to our thoughts and what's going on, but obviously we have Monday Night Kōrero to talk about what we think, and hopefully Webby is watching this and implement some stuff. But I think I'm with you, Real. Like, I've got absolutely no facts about this, but I think what we can point to is not necessarily the result of the games, but the performance of the games. That there is something seriously going on. There might not be crazy, but there is a dynamic at play that, hey, we probably watch a documentary in 10 years about it, talking about what actually happened. But there has to be something at play for you to not only fall off top 4 to where we are, but just like consistently play like we don't want to play. You just don't do that. Even if you're a team that hated each other, you'll try and play for each other, and we've seen that at moments. But I think there's been a consistency of just falling off the cliff. You don't get that with especially paper side like we have. It doesn't make sense. It's actually quite illogical in my eyes. I don't know. I can't really think of a team that's had quite a side like ours, especially off a season like that, to kind of just fall off like that. So there has to be something, and we can only speculate what that is. But big part of me thinks there is more to than any of us fans can see, and we can talk about little plays here and there. But I always say it, like, if culture shit, you're going to produce shit no matter what system you have anyway. But yeah, we'll still point the finger at something, I guess, on these Kōrero. Because I do think I'm still a big fan of Webby, and maybe this, maybe it's like this year's been a testing time for him. But I like to just go back to what you said, Damien. Maybe it's, he's not just the only one making the decisions in there. He's got people around him. I think Slade Griffin was upgraded and added to the assistant coaching this year compared to last year. So what does that mean? Not to say he's been at any fault, but has that changed some of the dynamic in terms of what they're teaching and sharing? Has it added value? Has it not? I don't know. But just kind of thinking about accountability, there has been a change. Not that it's squarely him, but does he have the right support around him to actually get this team going? Currently, it looks like it doesn't look that way. So yeah, me just adding my 2 cents onto the coaching around, not just one coach.
Even the Aussie commentators, even the Aussie commentators were doing the Warriors mess on the game. It was kind of like, wow, fucking Blocker sounds like Blocker was being kind to us, and for years he used to shit on the Warriors, and even he's been saying a nice running through the commentary nicely, and it's like, right.
Yeah. If St. George when they lose their next 3 or they lose to then what blah blah blah, like, that cracked me up. With the hard case. It was even more funny because I think Nick mentioned that like the week before doing Warriors maths. So yeah, that was a laugh.
I feel he does it because he feels sorry for us. I'm like, nah, fuck off, Blocker. Don't feel sorry for us now because we're losing.
You don't need your pity.
Yeah. I reckon. Did you fellas see Roger throw when he made that tackle on, I think it was Hopoate, and he threw his boot?
Yep.
So then, like 5 minutes later, Hopoate pushed him out of it over the sideline. So he got him back, but that shit cracked me out because I was thinking, I've never seen Roger do that before. But then, sure enough, their bloody winger got him. Yeah.
He doesn't easily get pissed off like that. He's quite cool, calm, and collected.
The season's getting to him too.
No, I think I was thinking a lot of our boys, they are though. You don't see, like you see players in the other team, they get stroppy, they, bloody just do stupid shit, which causes. But our boys are quite calm. That's what I think. I think our boys are quite calm-headed. Like they don't get angry. Very rarely. Like you see a lot of bloody teams bloody all getting together and doing the push and shove, but you don't really see our boys doing that.
Yeah, and kind of wish to.
No, I was just about to say, maybe we need to start being more angry, or more just let them know that, and just be more dominant.
Yeah.
Angry, I don't know what word you'd use for that.
Controlled aggression is what I would use,
Yeah,
stand up for yourself and controlled.
Yeah.
But what I'll do is, we've actually got a few comments, so sorry being a bad host. We've seen the comments flow, and we've got a few. Got a lot of people agreeing with you, Damien, in terms of some of the thoughts you've been sharing. But Jacko here also shared, did anyone hear Serrato praising his new assistant Taylor for spending hours and days going over tapes and then coming up with a new attacking structure that so
That's awesome.
So yeah, showing that, the assistant coach supporting. Also, Jacko's talked about, we have an aging roster. The team will look very similar next year, but by 27 it could be very different. And yeah, I think, and Jazz just commented, it's likely going to be a slow burn process. Say we did well in 2023 with what we had, but it'll be nice to see a team with more preferred players and better support around them. So I think that's all the stuff we've been talking about, right? Is like, and I think you mentioned this, Damien, I think last week or the week before, Webby's inherited this roster.
Yeah.
Given that we've got a few players going out, maybe he's going to get his recruitment strategist side on and bring some players in that we can, and I don't know, I think we'll be all a bit mixed on this, but one of them was Capewell, and I think he's had a mixed year. So hopefully there's some people that he can potentially bring over to the Warriors that I think a lot of us are talking about having speed. But I think for me it's just in going to what you're talking about, Tynes, with this aggression. For me it's just like this focus, like. Sometimes it looks like we just lack focus, like we just not turned on, and I feel like again, I don't want to. This ain't the Panthers TV or the Storm TV, but sometimes I watch those games. They just look like they're all in it. They're switched in, they're locked in, and I just feel, is that our preparation? Is it maybe we don't have the right roster that is like actually. Thinking about actually how do we stay into an 80-minute game because all these matter to get into the finals. I don't know, but just feels like I rather a team that's locked in, dialed in, than players that just have good attributes that are just here to collect the paycheck type thing. Which some people might think that's what some of our boys have been doing this year. So yeah, that's just some of my thoughts there. Anyone? Yeah, anything else?
In regards to what you said, Tyler, I definitely, in regards to the other two teams, the game on Thursday, it looks like their players just, not only do they know their job as a team, but individually, they've just got this, there's this thing about them where individually they know their job, and both individually and as a team, and it just clicks, man. They just know, and I'd love, that's what I want to see for our team. I want to see that, everyone just dialed in, locked into one another, just knows what's going on, and I just really want that for the Warriors, and I hope we see that, because I just hope that's what we get, and I hope just start seeing that building, even if it is slowly, but just gradually, baby steps every week, seeing something build, and that'd be great.
So one big positive that I keep thinking of myself is that with this season coming to an end, our juniors are going to be that one more extra year older, more developed, because our future as far as our junior systems looks really, really bright. My concern is we got to have the coaching systems in place as well, so that when these guys do get to first grade, they know their roles, exactly what you were talking about, Tans, that they can just focus on their own roles as well as their team roles, and they can just make it happen. Yep. I'm just really concerned about the state of our current coaching systems and where they're at, and are they where they need to be?
100%. I love that, Damien. Yeah, 100%. I couldn't agree more with that statement. I think that's an awesome thing to think about too. Yeah, I really, I think that's huge. I totally agree.
Agree.
I mean, no doubt the club will have a review system. You know, they'll review every part of the playing roster and what's worked and what's not. I think I'd love to be a fly on the wall and have those meetings and just break down the whole probably more so what's going to help us improve for next year, next season. How do we build on our mistakes? Because we've made many of them this year, but sorry, not so much build on them, but rectify. Minimize, kind of, just learn from them, kind of thing. So that would love to be a part of that whole review process. Just a little quiet observer and see how they go about their business. See what comes out of that little once the dust is settled, kind of thing. Yeah.
In regards to the errors, I think handling errors, they should be made to carry a ball with them everywhere they go. Cooking dinner, holding the baby, feeding the kids, they need to have the ball in one hand. I was just like, mate, because ball control, come on, let's admit, ball control is the epitome, that's the number one thing. That's what I think anyway, ball control. Well, obviously defense, but I mean, yeah.
And the game's definitely sped up. It's a whole lot faster than what it used to be, and it's just getting faster. Again,
some teams aren't keeping up with that.
Yeah, but the powers that be it's intentional, So the Warriors, and again, it's another one of those things the Warriors are going to have to unpack. Under fatigue, under pressure, how do the boys get back to the basics, kind of thing.
Yeah, and just to what you turns around ball control, if then again, I have to review this footage. I might be totally wrong here, but if I think to Shaun Johnson's drop balls, I actually think obviously it wasn't Egan that was passing him the balls, it was Lussick. So I think it's a bit of and again, I'm not trying to bring down Lussick, but he's just not an attacking hooker, and he's delivering that ball quite different to Egan. So Shaun Johnson's already got this immediate thought around how he needs to present the ball, and it's not going to his hand. But to take Lussick out of it, Shaun Johnson was already thinking about the play ahead of him instead of actually focusing on the ball. So I personally think it actually comes down to focus. Like sometimes our boys are just already ahead of themselves before they even focus on what's actually in front of them sometimes. And I feel like partly was what happened in the weekend with some of those errors, but also even just some of the plays. I feel like yes, you need to kind of plan ahead and make sure that you've got your things all sorted. But I thought that's what happens at training. You shouldn't be at the game trying to tell where people need to be. That should be already happening. And I feel, there's just a lot of things that we've already talked about, obviously, that we're going to be needing to work on, especially with, someone like Johnson not there. Some of, Jazz is not going to be there. Adam's not going to be there. There's going to be a few boys that are going to need to step up, and maybe it's a good thing. Now, I wanted to chuck this out because, I don't know, I'm going to play a bit of a what-if game, but given that we had a great year last year and obviously have fallen off the cliff this year, and then we had the other Panther assistant in Kōrero go to the Bulldogs. They had a pretty shit first year for him, and now they've kind of figured something out. How would you have wanted it? Do you guys like the position we're in right now, that we, have to kind of figure this out all again? Or seeing what the Bulldogs are going through, and not to say that you need to become a Bulldogs fan, would you have rather have gone through a real testing period last year and built into something this year? Just a general question to you guys, and even people in the comments.
I think as far as the Bulldogs transition, I think that would be easier to go through. That way you've just got this gradual build, as opposed to what we've gone through, instant success, straight away failure. That's I know that we've talked about it plenty, the Warriors roller coaster, but fuck, that's a big fucking climb and a massive fucking drop, eh? So I think as a fan, it would be easy to just go through the gradual climb.
I agree. I agree. God damn it. But I mean, who said it? One of you guys said it. If you defend, and if you can do that, then the attack will flow. And I think Kōrero and the Bulldogs have definitely shown that this season, because they're their attack was quite boring for most of the season, but the game I watched the other night, man, yeah, they turned it on. So it just shows that, yeah, defence, and if the boys can get back to that, you know, if they can work on that, then we'll be that flash attacking team again that we were last year.
Yeah.
I mean, not to say that I want to be like that. Like I think we can. Yeah, got to get back on track. That's all it is. Onwards and upwards, man. Got to just
Figure it out, eh? What about yourself, Phil?
Sorry,
Doesn't
bro, what's
matter.
the
We should be
question?
winning.
Well
I
said.
guess for me it's obviously because we got them this week, right? That's a team that we've got, and we've kind of crossed paths. Well, there's a crossroad that we've both crossed over. And you know, I think again, you can always theorize around would you have rather it this way or that way. But I think to what you just said there, Tynes, I think whatever way this has gone for us, I think in some sense this is a perfect scenario where we can actually now start asking the real questions of was that shit a fluke last year, or actually have we been building something in terms of foundation, not obviously success, but foundations that can get us through this year, because who knows, you know, they may be doing stuff in the background. Obviously we see the future Warriors New Zealand stuff. They've got the development stuff coming through. I'm sure they would have loved to have been winning a lot more this year, but you know, maybe this is a perfect time to now reconsider, is it bringing a lot of that stuff more forward now, or is it continuing to build that stuff foundation and now bringing some more players across the ditch somewhere else to kind of help with our the foundation going forward. But anyway, the whole thing was a segue because we got them this week. Obviously, Bulldogs are tracking very well in terms of where they are. They had a good one over the Dolphins. If anyone saw that, I see anyone saw Fido chase down Edo Carr was probably
that was dope.
That was actually really cool, and a glimpse of what could be a 100-meter race. There could be those two and Saab racing it out. I don't know about the Warriors. You know, we could put Metcalf forward, but I don't want him to do his hammies, so those boys can go race it out. But we got them this week, guys. How are we feeling? And yeah, maybe we'll get into a bit of a prediction around that soon.
I think we can beat them, and I think that every week I'm like, you know, like I think we can beat any team. And I think we can. Ty. Oh yeah, I think we can beat them, especially at home. I think we can.
Well,
it depends on what team shows up, though. But I do think we can beat them. It just depends on what team shows up.
So, personally, I think that it's such a big occasion. This is going to be the Warriors' final home game of the season. This is Shaun Johnson's last game at home in a Warriors jersey. So we should, you know, be up for this. We should be looking to absolutely destroy Canterbury Bulldogs. My concern, though, is how do the Warriors generally perform under big, what would you call it? Big, sorry, my words are escaping me. Big games, big games where there's a lot at stake. There's a lot of emotion. Generally, the Warriors, as of late, we fall off the cliff even more. I don't want to see that happen, but I'm honestly thinking Warriors are really going to struggle to win this game.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, it's a bit of the truth, right?
Sorry.
Definitely.
It's almost like the moment of the game gets the better of us. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But because I mean, this is a big game, not just for SJ, but for
Jazz, AFB,
Jazz. Yeah, and they're going to want to get it right because if they lose this, it'll not just bum those three out, but it'll, you know, that last home crowd will be gutted. You know, they'll be really upset too. So I just hope for the boys, man. You know, like fuck, get some mana back in there. You know, be proud of yourselves for some good May. And that's just what I expect every week. And we've talked about this, you know, even if they lose, fucking all goods if you lose, if you play a main game.
Mm.
You know, like if you can go out there and put a solid 80 minutes together, but lose that game, that's all good. You know, as fans, we're fucking happy with that. But just to not do that and to consistently do that is what bums me out, because, you know, they're my Warriors. They're better. Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, if they can just get that dub this week, it'll be fucking awesome. Just to put some pride back in the top and get them feeling good about themselves, you know?
And I feel like that's all I've been asking for every week is, yes, the result, but it's the performance, is going out there and showing us that you know, not that you just want it, but you can see you've worked on something during the week and it's coming together. And hey, if we go down, but you guys gave it a good shot, like exactly the Bulldogs game last time we played them, that was a perfect example of like, fuck, we didn't get the result, but I felt like, man, that was a good game. You know,
Yeah.
Boys were proud to come off that field and feel like you actually did something. My problem though is that we're at the kind of stage, and to your point, Damien, there's a lot of things riding us on. You know, some of these boys having a good last game, motion might get to them, but also this Bulldog team is a really good defensive team. And I feel like if we are going to win, it's going to be a real tight game. It might be another 13-12 type score if we were to win. But on the other flip side, it could be a 40-10 to Bulldogs. I don't see us winning this in a high fashion. You know, we score 6 tries to 2. This is going to be, we win it in a tight game, or we get blown out. And yeah, obviously I'm not hoping for the latter, but I feel like this Bulldog team, they're trying to prepare themselves for the finals. And if they're going to let the Warriors bully them and get over them, they know they're not ready. And I know Serrano will be trying to gear them up. Like, you can't let a team like the Warriors beat you, knowing what we've got going forward. So yeah, hope the boys get up, but it's got to be a real tough one for many reasons, not just because we're versing the Bulldogs.
Yeah, I think I think it's a big game for both sides. Like, you know, obviously they want to stay and they want to try and get into the top 4. I think they're 5th at the moment, but yeah, it's a big game for us too, just to send the boys off. I mean, yeah. But every week I'm confident that something will change. You know, that our forwards will just dominate, and our halves can control the game off the back of our forwards. And I hope for that every week. And yeah, I'm hopeful but not confident.
Nice.
Yeah, hopeful but not confident.
What about yourself, Rio?
Oh, fuck Serrano. Fuck the doggies.
Yeah. Well said, bro.
Bro, we're going to stick it to this. Yeah, okay. They're in 5th, pushing for 4th, pushing for the finals. And good on them. I just want to see the boys go out there and smash them. Fucking stick it.
Yeah. Just play a solid
the occasion kind of thing, but yeah, I just want to see the boys go out there and just enjoy themselves and rip the doggies up.
Are the Bulldogs still undefeated at home
this season?
Yeah. I heard a stat, I think it was when they played the Raiders, that they were undefeated at home. I was like, holy fuck. So if we were playing them over there, then, you know, it might be a bit harder, but fuck the doggies.
We're 1 point away. We're 1 point away last time.
That's it, bro.
I mean, Metcalf might be the difference in this game, you know, having SJ back in the halves along with Metcalf. That could be the game changer going up against. I mean, well, it didn't work against Manly. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, but I don't know. Maybe they'll pull a rabbit out of the hat this week and give us fans exactly what we want and just fucking play a solid game. Because I want to see some of that shit from, like, you know, those mean set plays, the passing. You know, like nothing gets me going more than a fucking, you know, like when a try is scored off some mean passes, you know, like just some real clinical work, and that'd just be great to finish the season off, seeing some of that that mean clinical stuff.
As awesome as it would be to see a game like, say, the Warriors winning 36-12 or something, you're thinking, fuck yeah, how good was that? How much are you going to be thinking, where the fuck was that the rest of the fucking year?
Either way, I'll still have something to complain about. But I was thinking that in the Manly game, because they were playing, they were playing good in that fact. I thought they were. And that's exactly what I said, Damien. I was like, where the fuck were you guys fucking 10? But then
they heard you.
That didn't turn out as well either. But like I said, I've got plenty of hope, but just not confident. But I fucking hope they smash them.
Should always have the hope, eh? Be concerned if you ain't got the hope.
And I do. I mean, people might think, oh, fuck, she's a cunt, man. But honestly, every week I'm like, they're going to win. They're going to do this. Like, I put 100% into that feeling, and then, 20 minutes into the game, it's starting to dwindle a bit, that flame. I'm just like, oh, no. But,
Yep.
1 year, guys, and I hope it's very soon. I don't want to wait 5 years like people, some people say, 5 years. I'm like, fuck that. Some of us might not have 5 years, 2 maybe. But it'll be good if we can just sort it out before then and just start building. And I want to see those progressions, not every week, but I want to see progressions maybe, every month, but always moving upwards, always moving upwards. And you see that with the good teams, and that's why the good teams are still in the fucking top 4 and in the top 8.
Mm-hmm.
Well, in the top 4 is because they're constantly progressing and going and moving upwards. And that's even with new players. They're just,
So again, I put that down to coaching systems, eh?
Yeah, I don't.
No, I really
if the team's chopping and changing, but they're still consistently doing well, then how good is that coaching setup?
Yeah.
Totally
agree. Fuck yeah, I agree too.
Obviously, this is going off the whole season, but especially the weekend, is once that rain hit, I don't know, it's just like the plan turned off and we started not just dropping the ball. Yes, errors, but there's always 2 teams playing. They wouldn't seem to drop the ball as much, but just kind of went out the door. So I'm looking at our weather, and it's looking like it might be about a 9 p.m. that there's some rain. So maybe it's half time might be where we might see some jitters. Putting that out there.
Score all our tries in the first half then.
Yep, score in the first half and just D it for the last 40. I don't know, but let's hope the weather is on our side this weekend.
Question: when was the last time the Bulldogs played here? Was that last season? It was, eh?
At the start of the season, I think it was.
Last year. See, and it was different here because it was daytime back then. Because I went to that game, it was daytime, it was sunny. Now they're going to come to New Zealand. It's nighttime. It's freezing cold. It's going to be blacked out. The stadium's going to be packed. Yeah, love it. They'll probably be too scared. Because we know it's one of the most intimidating grounds in the comp, Go Media Stadium.
Oh yeah, I was going to say too that last weekend the Warriors Manly game, the ground, even though it was pouring down, they I can't remember if it was I just caught highlights of I think it was the Roosters game.
Roosters Tigers
playing in a bloody pool.
Roosters Eels,
Roosters Eels, sorry, yes.
But the pitches were like the Manly one was just awesome. What the boys were playing on. Even though it was pouring down, and then when you saw the Roosters game, and their stadium that they play at is this state of the art, and yet the pitch itself was a house. It was like, damn.
Go fishing.
We got the big ground that time, right?
They talked about that too, the commentators saying that the NRL will have to have words with the people that made it because there should be not being that much water on there because it's state of the art stadium. So Yeah, because you're seeing the groundskeepers out there with those big pitchforks
No,
at
man.
half time, stabbing them into the ground to try and drain some of the water off.
Wow.
And
Well,
then you got
Manly got it right. Hey, their club room's got it right. They just you couldn't even tell there was. I mean, there wasn't even puddles. You know, when
Yeah.
it was ground, I was like, wow. Yeah, bit of an observation.
Yeah, no, that was wicked. But my dad reckons he loved playing in the rain. He was like, "Fuck, playing in the rain, main."
Hard out. You can slide
Yep.
everywhere.
Yep,
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, even over the sideline. But anyway,
And I just want to talk lightly about that Roosters and Eels game and catch some of it. But again, I think it's a confidence thing. Those Roosters, man, they were chucking the ball around, kicking it over, and scoring some cool tries. So again, I know that I make some funny games about the weather and how it's affected us, but I'm like, doesn't affect all these other teams. They seem to play like it's dry weather out there. So again, I don't know if that's something to work on, but I kind of think it's kind of related to confidence. Like you feel confident, you're gonna move that ball. Obviously, don't move it too much. You don't want to keep dropping it, but some teams do well in the weather, and we haven't been this year.
And I think that's one of the
Considering how
key
much.
things. Sorry, but that's one of the key things as well. Just the basics. It's in, holding on to it, not dropping it, not fumbling, whatever, knocking on, and that was just happening all game Friday night. And I was just like, wow, just want to see the boys just build some momentum, just fucking start dominating or whatever. But yeah, it's disheartening when after the first or second tackle you lose the ball, and it's just like, oh my goodness. Manly were doing it too, but it's just like.
I
Right.
remember
doing it more.
I remember Stacey Jones a lot after a game, and they'd talk to him post match, and he'd always, like I don't know if you use, but I always remember him saying, "Got to get back to basics." All it is. Got to. Do you remember that? A lot of the times, his post game interviews, he'd always talk, especially after a loss, he'd be like, "No, we've got to get back out there and get back to basics."
Yep, that was often one of the first 5 words.
Yeah, and it was simple. It was just matter of fact. And I thought that the other night, I was like, man, we just got to, do exactly that. Get back to basics and fucking just drill that shit in.
Wonder if that's one of our problems, right? When I don't know about you guys, but when you try to focus on something you don't want to do, you end up doing it more. Like, not to say in that case, but when you say like, "Hey boys, don't go out there and drop the ball," guess what happens? You go out there and drop the ball more. I wonder if it's because they keep saying do the basics. They're like, yeah, we heard this story before, that they're actually not doing the basics. Because obviously, when we watch the games, it feels like they go away from the simple things. I don't know, just some random theory I'm coming up with, and reasons for this year.
Bit of sports psychology involved.
Yeah.
Very good.
So yeah, I guess to the fun time of our Kōrero, what are we going in terms of predictions? And people in the chat, let us know your predictions for this week. What do you think the score will be between the Doggies and us? I'm personally hoping for a good game, but like I said before, I think if we are going to get up, we're just going to get up. So I'm going to go with 16-12 to the boys. I think we're going to do it. Going off basically nothing, but I just want to see, Johnson definitely, but also the boys that are leaving us kind of go out on a high at home. So 16-12 is my prediction. Anyone's can go next.
Sorry, I was meant to do this at the beginning of the show, but I just want to give a shout out to Kaikara for his win on the weekend, to our wrestling coach. Thank you, Ro.
Nice.
He won in the first round knockout. Yeah. And Dan Hooker as well, and Izzy for giving it your all. But anyway, back to the predictions. Shit.
Yeah. What are we predicting, guys?
I'm probably sitting around where you are, Ty. Yeah. Or 18-14 maybe to the boys. 18-16 to the boys.
Nice.
Second, I don't know. Who kicked our conversions last week, Luke?
Luke McGuff.
So we've got me 16-12, 18-14 tons. What about you guys?
I'll jump in. So yes, this is one of those games where your head's telling you one thing and your heart's telling you the other. I'm going to give you my heart prediction. Warriors are going to win 26-14.
Oh, nice, Damien.
Fuck the Bulldogs.
Yeah, bro.
Yep. Cool. We'll take
Yeah,
that.
I'm like Damien. I'm gonna go 34-22 Warriors.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Heaps of tries. Heaps of points.
Nice. We've got 18-16 in our chat by Zach, and we've also got a 18-15 by Greg. Oh, we think there's going to be another drop goal in there, eh?
Sure. Nice.
Cool. So yeah, I'm fortunate I'll be going to the game this week, so hopefully hopefully we get to get a win, and B, hopefully don't get fucking pissed on. I hope it doesn't rain, because I will be taking my family out there. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the game. I think you know, the occasion itself. You know, Sean Johnson's had mighty career at the Warriors. Unfortunately, he hasn't been able to, you know, or any of us have been able to see a championship. But I think he deserves a lot of respect and just, you know, being able to witness that moment. Because I easily see him staying at the club and potentially helping out in different ways going forward too. So hopefully I see, you know, some of you guys that are in our chat out there at the game as well. But yeah, I think it would be a pretty good game this weekend. I know any other thoughts from the team around this week or just around our season in general?
I think that's like the third time I've whistled all night. Nah, go the fucking Warriors, bro.
Go the fucking Warriors.
Yep.
Just a solid 80, man. Solid 80, boys. That's all I ask. That's all I want. A solid 80 for the next couple of games and fucking, you know, yeah. Finish off the season with a couple of dope games. And then, you know, you can go into the off season just being proud and fucking looking forward to a break.
Enjoy the
holiday.
Hard out. Well, hey, we know we're going to get a win on the last round, so
Mhm.
you know, whatever happens, we'll get a dub here somewhere. But yeah, thank you to everyone turning up. Obviously, yeah, had myself on tonight, but Nick should resume next week, and hopefully we're all celebrating and going, where the fuck was that performance all year? But yeah, just saying, yeah, what's up to everyone in our chat? Thank you all for yeah, writing in the chat. Sorry, I haven't been paying too much attention. It's a very different dynamic. I'm trying to talk and then look at the chat. But hope you guys enjoyed yourself today. And yeah, obviously, I know there's been some comments like, "Hey, you guys Warriors fans, you guys are talking down on them." Nah, we're Warriors over here.
I do all the time. So you just it's yeah, I do all the time. But it doesn't mean I love them any less because that couldn't be further from the truth. I'm just frustrated. I'm one of those fans. Yeah, I'm one of those fans. But I'm better than
every right to be frustrated.
Yeah. I used to be a real ugly fan, man. But I done some rehab last year, so I'm better now.
Nice. Nice dance.
I feel like
the guys, all right. I still love them.
Yeah, the same here. And I feel like, I don't know if this is the right metaphor, but it's like, you know, it's like you're a parent and you're seeing your kid and you know your kid's got so much potential, but you're like, why are you fucking it up?
You know what they're capable of.
Yeah. So we're trying to ask all the questions. Why the fuck are you fucking around? That's how we feel. I'm pretty sure we all feel the same. So we want to see these guys do well, but if they're not doing well, we're here to ask some questions, speculate on what those answers are, and then go from there.
Yeah.
But that's us for this week, Whānau. Thanks for everyone turning up, and yeah, always up the wires.
Sharp tight. Thanks, bro.
Thank you.
Cheers. Thanks, guys.
See you later.
Okay.
Thank you.
Go.